Hello, now we're going to talk about the foam, the high density foam for the cat couch that we're making. And I have you live right now on here because I want to show you what this assembly looks like after I put it together. And as you can see, it's foam. It has to be high density foam. And there's the back, there's the arms. There's the bottom. And you know how I talk about moose a lot? That helps me in video. I'm going to give him a spotlight for a minute. That is my Mumo, my handsome man. He loves videoing. Right, Mumos? Okay. So here is the couch. And let's talk about it. Okay. Here's a closer look of the foam. Ignore my junk over here. Anyway, here's a closer look, and I wanted to talk about this foam. I tried going to Michael's for this. Michael's does not carry this. The Michael's in Pennsylvania, that is. As far as I know, most Michael's do not carry this. But I went to Joann's, and I talked to a couple really nice people, and they helped me get what I needed. And Joann's will cut everything for you except the arms. Now the arms, they'll cut into one long piece, and you just got to literally cut that one long piece in half. So let's talk about what you need for this. But again, for the cat couch, you have to have what's called high density foam, not styrofoam, foam. And as you can see how, okay? All right, I'm going to move this out of our way with bumping you, which I'm so good at bumping cameras sometimes. Anyway, so for the foam, you will need, yep, I got my notes. You will need one piece. The big one is 16 inches by 24 inches. That's the whole bottom piece of the couch. Now for the back part of the couch, you will need 8 by 24. Okay. Now, when you put the back onto the bottom of the couch, you put it on top of your, if I can find a pen, you will put it on, say here's your bottom piece of the couch. The top piece you will put right on top of the back. So you don't put it behind it. You put it on top of this piece. This piece at 16 by 24, this 16, you will use 3 inches of that. And that's the other thing. All this foam is 3 inches thick. So again, the bottom piece will be 16 inches by 24 inches. Now the back piece, you know, where you lean your back on when you sit on a couch, that's going to be 8 inches by 24 inches. So it's the same length, but it's only 8 inches high, okay? And it's also 3-inch high density foam, okay? Now the arms, you need 2 of them. They're 10 inches by 3, 10 inches by 3. So even though the foam's 3 inches thick, so they're actually going to be square. So 10 inches by 3, the 10 inch goes on each side of the couch. So when they cut that, they won't cut it in half. They'll just cut one length, and then you cut that length in half at Joann's. Now there's no charge for them cutting it, and you only pay for what you need, which is nice. So you don't have to spend $60 or $70 on a full sheet and figure out how to cut it yourself, okay? And no, this is not one of the cheapest projects. I think the foam costs me personally like $45-ish, something like that. I did buy a little yarn too, so my bill was like $52, $53, but I think like 40 some dollars of it was the foam. But I just wanted to let that disclaimer out for you so you know. And I tried all different kinds of glue. I tried Gorilla Glue. I tried, you name it. I tried it. Elmer's glue. The only thing that really gets this couch glued and stays glued well, believe it or not, is hot glue. Use your hot glue gun. It is what I'm recommending. If you find something different that works for you, absolutely. But I am recommending the hot glue gun to put it together. Okay. All right. That is the discussion for the assembly of the couch. Okay, now we're going to talk about the blanket that goes on the back of the couch. We're going to use a 4.0 millimeter hook, and they are granny squares, tiny granny squares. They're only 4 rounds, but you need a total of 16 of them. So you can do any color scheme, obviously, that you're interested in. I did mine to match the color that the couch is, but the sky's the limit for you. You can use any colors that you want, but I'm going to show you how to do a granny square. And again, you will need 16 of them. Now, I do recommend a magic circle, magic ring, but if you cannot do that, I want you to chain 4, then you slip stitch into your first stitch, and then I need you to chain 3. 1, 2, and 3. Okay. I want you to put 2 more double crochets in that circle. 1 and 2. Then I want you to chain 3. 1, 2, and 3, and then put 3 double crochets in your circle again. 1, 2, and 3. And again, chain 3. 1, 2, 3, and 3 more double crochets in your chain. 1, 2, and 3. And then I need you to chain 3 again. 1, 2, and 3. And then one more time of putting 3 double crochets in the center ring. 1, 2, and 3. And then when you do that, chain 3, and you slip stitch into the top chain, that chain 3 that you started with. After you slip stitch, pull your ring and tighten it up. Okay. Now, I want you to slip stitch in each chain over to the next chain 3 gap here. Okay. I want you to chain 3. 1, 2, and 3. And I want you to put 2 more double crochets right in that chain. I think I'm going to zoom you out a little bit so you're not getting like ridiculously close up view of my hands. So in that same corner, after you do those 2 double crochets, chain 3 more, 2 and 3, and put 3 more double crochets in that same corner. 1, 2, and 3. After you got that, you're just going to jump over to the next corner and put 3 double crochets, chain 3, and 3 double crochets, and you're going to do that all the way around. Chain 3, and then 3 more, and then I'm going to meet you at the end of this round. Okay. Okay, when you've done that, you just slip stitch to the top of that chain 3. Start with. Now again, I want you to slip stitch over to the next chain 3 opening and chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then put 2 more double crochets right in that corner, 1 and 2, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and put 3 more double crochets right in there. And 3. Now it's not just corners. Now we have a center piece in this center gap right there. I want you to put in 3 double crochets. No chaining, no nothing. Just pop in 3 double crochets. And 3. And when you get to the next corner, just pop on over there and do 3 double crochet, chain 3, 3 double crochet. And that is the pattern for this round. And this is already your 3rd round. So we'll only need 1 more round. And then you know how to make the granny squares for the cute cat couch. And then this couch would also work for smaller breed dogs. So it doesn't just have to be a cat couch, does it? And bounce over in the center, put 3, and I will meet you at the end. As soon as you come around and you did that, again, you will slip stitch to the top of your chain 3. And then again, you slip stitch all the way over to your corner. And then you chain 3. This is our last round for these. Put 2 more double crochets in. Chain 3, 1, 2, and 3. And there we go, 3 more. All in that same corner. And then in your gaps, you just put in 3 double crochets. On this round, you should have 2 between the corners. No chaining, just pop corner to opening to opening. And 3. Next one. 1, 2, and 3. And you chain 3. And because you're in a corner, you put 3 more double crochets in. 1, 2, and 3. All right, see you at the end. Okay, came all the way around and I slip stitched to my chain 3, sorry. Now with ending this, I personally like slip stitching almost to the corner, then I chain 1. And then that's all she wrote for that. Now, I personally will hide this end in, leave this end on, even though I'll weave it in a little bit and still leave your end so you know the front versus the back, but you should be able to tell. And I blocked these. I prefer that because if I'm going to do it, I'd rather do it right. But you don't have to. Absolutely no requirements to, but you definitely need, for the blanket that I'm making, you will need 16 of these squares. And you can change the colors in them. You can do whatever you want with them. But it's 4 rows. Okay? That's it. I will be coming back soon to show you how to do the joining of this blanket. Thank you. Okay, now I'm going to go over the chaining and how to do the increases and the decreases. Now remember, this is all the yarn I have left. I did double-stranded. I do recommend doing the double strand of the acrylic yarn because it really gives the couch a really nice thick layer, and it's going to be more sturdier for your animals. But when you do the chains, you always chain even. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm going to do a short row just so we can go over it. There's 10. So now remember, when we do things, when we start on the first one, we always start with a single crochet. So it'd be a single, then a double, and single, and double, and single, double, and you will end on a single. Now, if this is part of the row where you need to increase, say you're making the cushions or the back panel of the couch, there's going to be areas where you have to be larger, wider, then you have to come in for a while, then you have to go back out. So there's going to be a lot of increasing and decreasing on these. What I always recommend is when you're ready to do your increase or decrease row, always do it while when you're turning, you're going to start with a single crochet. Okay? So there's my single crochet. So say I need to add an inch or 2. So at my last stitch, I'm going to chain, but remember when you're doing the chain, again, end on an even number. Okay? So that'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Say I increase it by, I need to increase it by 6. Okay? So then we turn, and we just start with a single crochet, and then you go to double, and go to single, forgive my ugly finger, I broke my nail, bent it all the way backwards to the middle of the nail bed, so it's very, very sore right now. So I can't even get my nails fixed until that grows a little or calms down. Not sure which. Okay. And then you just go back into your chain. And now we're going to increase again. So you did your last one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Again, start with single, and then double, Now, they're going to be off by a half a row, but it's the only way this actually works. So don't stress about it. And then you're back into your regular bulk of the project. So it's just rotating or alternating single and double all the way through. See how I'm on my extension part now? So when you end this on the side that's off by a little bit, which would be this side. Okay, see how thinner this is than over here. I got the hiccups again. So and that is how you do the increase. Okay, so when you want to do a decrease, okay, so it's slip stitching. So say I need to slip stitch back down. So actually, when you do it, you should start on the side that's thinner, just so you know, but it's really not the end of the world. So you slip stitch an even number. So, well, slip stitch an odd number, but follow what I'm saying here. Hold on. Okay, so slip stitch. So that'd be, you're supposed to slip stitch an even number, but I do backtrack here. Just follow me. That's, I think showing you is what I do best. So let's slip stitch 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so right here's 5 rows. My 2 dogs are on the couch with me here, but I want to start in this next chain. So to do that, I don't want you just to go into the next chain and do a single crochet. I want you to actually slip stitch into the next chain, chain 1, and do your single crochet. It allows the stitch once it gets uniform, it allows the stitch to stand better, and it's more even when your project builds. All right, so slip stitch, chain 1, and go back in and do what you're doing. Okay, and then when you're on the other side of this, and say this is where you want to stop, you just stop. You don't have to do slip stitches on that side. So you would just do your chain 1 or 2 and continue your row. And that is how you make smaller and larger of the dimensions. So for the couch, you need to make 4 panels for the cushions, all the same. So there's no wrong side, there's no right side. So you just make 4 panels the same. So on your cat couch, measure the bottom part where the armrests are, go in and you measure the length that you need, and then you measure, yeah, the length, then you measure the width, then you measure the length. But remember, as you go down, you have a section that gets longer on the edge of the couch right in front of the armrests. And I do suggest that you make them just maybe 2 stitches a little wider, so you give yourself a little room for when you sew them together and turn them right side out to stuff. Because the first time I did that, I didn't do that, and my cushions, my seat cushions, were tiny. They were small. So I do recommend you make them maybe like a 1/4 inch, a little bigger. That way, when you sew them together, whip stitch, when you sew them together, they're going to be the size that you need. And I used regular polyfill stuffing, but I only used a very minimal amount because I didn't want my cushions to be super thick. I just used a little bit, then I filled it, then I sewed up the little hole that I left so I could fill it. Okay, so you make 2 of those couch cushions. Then I need you to make the whole front panel. And when you make the front panel of the couch, you measure, you do the thickness at the very top of the couch, which is like 3 inches. And then you need to measure from the top of the couch down, and you crochet that down. And then you keep the same width, and you crochet the bottom part with the part where the couch cushions sit on top of. Okay? And then you stop. So as soon as you've finished in front of the armrests, you don't go down to the front of the couch. You stop at the edge. Okay? So that's the first panel that you need. Then I need you to turn the couch around. And what I did is, as I was crocheting these, I'd set it on my foam couch to see if they fit. If I need them a little longer, a little wider, a little shorter. That's how I measured as I went. Then you turn around and you do the back panel of the couch. Since you did the top part of the couch, you just need to do the straight back part. Okay? And you don't do the last 3 inches. The 3 inches is a separate piece that you will crochet. And then you turn your couch back around. Then the armrests. Now, don't worry yet about the front of the armrest. You need just the side. There's 3 parts of the arm. There's the side, there's the top, and there's the other side going down. You make 1 panel for that, and they're fast. They're easy. So once you make your first one, you can duplicate that for the other side. Okay? After you make that, then you make the little squares that go in front of the armrests. So you make 2 of them. This is all with the single double crochet stitch pattern that I've shown you. After you're all done, and I know this sounds like a lot, but you got this. And when I post this video, any questions, if you need an added tutorial for something, please let me know. I'll be more than happy to do it. Then after you got that, so think about it. You got the back, you got the front, you got the armrests. Okay? Oh, I missed something. Let me back up a little bit. When you're doing the front part, the inside layer of the couch, make sure your crocheted part extends over onto the sides of the couch, of that back part that sits up. So it'll overlay, like you got your front part, but then you got your 2 sides. So it overlays to the back. That way when you sew the back onto that front part, they'll mesh right together. Okay? Then we're going to do the bottom 3-inch band of the couch. I crocheted, I think it was a chain of 190, but what I want you to do is I want you to make a chain, and you go make it long enough where it goes completely around that bottom part of your sofa, that 3-inch part, and give yourself a little, like when you got it to just fit, I would take away probably 8 to 10 stitches, pull out, because as you crochet this, it's only get longer and wider. So when you make that chain, After the chain's done and you got your size that you want, I want you to go to the third chain from the hook and do half double crochets throughout the whole chain. Okay? When you get to the end of the chain, I skipped a part. I'm getting ahead of myself. I apologize. When you do that 190, you will continue. Don't sew it together as in a circle. I apologize. Let me step back. When you do that approximately 190 and you remove the 8 to 10 stitches, I want you to do the normal single double crochet around it until you got about a 3-inch length on it. Okay? And that part will be hooked around the couch, or the bottom part. I was ahead of myself on the dust ruffle. Now for the dust ruffle, you do the same about chain, 190, 200, depends on, it all matters on your size of your hook. After you do the chain that goes around the whole bottom, then I want you to go in the third chain from the hook and do half double crochets through the whole chain. When you get through the whole chain, you come back, you chain 2, and I want you to put 3 double crochets in each chain. That one was the most tedious part of this whole project. That is your dust ruffle. Okay. So now you got all your pieces. You got your couch cushions. You got your front panel. You got your back panel. You got your armrest. You got the front part of the armrest. You got the basic trim for the bottom. And then you got your dust ruffle. Now all you have to do is sew it together. So what I did is I put the back part on and the bottom front part, and I sewed, I stitched while it was on the actual cushion. I stitched it together at the top, just the top part of the couch. And then what I did is, after it's laying on the couch, then I put the armrests on. Then I just sewed the bottom part of the armrests first. All right. After I got that on, all the pieces, the armrests, not the front part of the armrest, not those little squares, I sewed everything else on. Once you got those basics on, then you can go to town and sew everything else on. And then when that's all sewed together, then I did the part of the bottom. First, that plain 3-inch part that you sewed all the way around. Then you can decide where you want to put your dust ruffle on that bottom part, and you can sew your dust ruffle all the way through. And then you can add the front arm pieces and just make sure everything's sewn. Everything's neat. You sew it while it's on. It looks proper sewing that way. You don't have to hide your stitches. Now, once I did that, I put my couch cushions on and I tested it out with my dogs and my cats. And the cushions were constantly being kicked off. So I ended up tacking down my cushions to the piece so they wouldn't come off. So that's your choice. That was my experience, my personal experience. But now the couch cushion is used, the couch, cat couch, dog couch, is being used all the time. They love it. All my 3 cats, my 2 dogs, they're just in all over it. And it's just amazing. This is a very large project. It took me a very long time to do it. It is a pricey project. Not one of my, I don't like expensive projects, but this project cost me probably in the realm of almost $100 between all the material, the yarn, and that's not including my time. It took, I used, like I said, I used double-stranded, I used just generic yarn, and I used just shy of 6 balls of yarn because double strand in it. So if you know you want to do this, I just want you to know what's ahead of you for the project. And I think that is everything for the couch. And remember, when this video is posted, if there's something that I messed up on explaining, or something you just don't understand, or something isn't working out right, please come find us on Facebook under Whip and Chain for Work in Progress, and we'll be more than happy to do a little tutorial to help you out. So I look forward to seeing your cat couches and the colors and maybe just little different spins that maybe you put on it. Let me know.